Top on the brief this morning is a preliminary assessment of the damage caused by an explosion on part of the River State Secretariat of the Action People's Party by the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Tunji Diso. The CP says his men are actively investigating the explosion when he led a delegation of officers to assess the damage at that facility, calling for vigilance. The national and state chairman of the party maintained their resolve to continue their activities despite what they describe as an attempt to intimidate the party.
We deployed our teams to come here and take charge of the area. The bomb squad has been sent here, and I'm waiting for their report any moment from now. I will not want to go deep into that because I have not gotten my full reports. Definitely, everybody should be concerned about their safety and their security. I don't want to go deep down into some things I don't want to mention now, but most importantly, everybody have to take their security very important. Like I quickly sent in our officers in here yesterday, because anywhere there's an explosion, there's likely to be a second one. So usually we move people away from that. And that is what my team succeeded in doing.
We are calling upon Mr. President, the heads of security agencies, to go after these criminal elements whose interest is to instill fear, instill violence in Rivers State. We as a party, we are not deterred. We are sure that they are getting the signal of Rivers people joining our party in preparation for the forthcoming local government election.
These uncivilized acts of people who think that they are reservoirs of violence, who think that they are reservoirs of knowledge, who think that Rivers State must control whatever they want or whatever they interact. We have come to change the narrative. Whether anybody likes it or not, one thing that is constant in life is change.
And still on security, 6 travelers, including the driver of a commercial car traveling from Takum local government area in Wukari of Taraba, have been shot dead by gunmen. The incident occurred at Sai community, a border community on Benue state of stretching into Taraba state. A development the state governor, Agbo Kefas, has condemned in its entirety. Meanwhile, the chairman of Takum local government area, Mr. John Ali, explains how hoodlums emerged from the bush and opened fire on the moving vehicle. According to him, the National Union of Road Transport Workers have been warned against plying the route early in the morning due to the volatile nature of that particular road. Let's also tell you that staying in that particular region, suspected hoodlums have set ablaze the Redeemed Christian Church of God located along the Federal College of Education Road in Kontagora, Niger State. It is the second time in 10 years that the church has been targeted, with previous incidents occurring a decade ago when unidentified attackers burned down the building and warned against it being reconstructed. The chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in that state, Most Reverend Bulus Yohana, condemned the latest attack, describing it as barbaric and uncalled for. Let's move on now to other stories where the federal government is making it mandatory for all government organizations and agencies to procure military hardware from the military industrial complex at the Defense Industries Corporation in Kaduna State. Addressing a news conference in Abuja ahead of the 60th anniversary of the celebration of the corporation, the permanent secretary of the ministry, Mr. Ibrahim Kana, says it is only when the desired hardware is unavailable at the corporation that government organizations will be allowed to make procurement from abroad. The permanent secretary explains that the amended act for the corporation signed into law by the president mandates government agencies to look inward for military hardware procurement in order to contribute to Nigeria's national development and national security. Let's now head to the villa where President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Mrs. Didi Wilson-Jack as the new head of service of the Federation in the State House, Abuja. The event took place in the council chambers just before the Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by President Bola Tinubu. Speaking after the ceremony, Mrs. Wilson-Jack said she will build on the existing reforms in the civil service, while her predecessor, Dr. Folashade Yemiyesan, enjoined civil servants to give their best to the country. Let's now talk some politics, where the Edo State government has accused Mr. Philip Shaibu of impersonating the deputy governor of the state and advised him to stop presenting himself as such. This is coming after Mr. Shaibu's broadcast when he directed staff of his office yet to resume work since his reinstatement to do so or face the consequence. After his impeachment, Mr. Shaibu challenged the matter in court, and Justice James Omotosho declared that the impeachment by the State Assembly was illegal and ordered the IGP to restore his security details and state government to pay his old salaries and allowances. However, the Edo State House of Assembly appealed the judgment and filed for a stay of execution pending the determination of the appeal. In a swift response to the matter, the State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nahikare, said the issue of his purported reinstatement is still active in court, with the next hearing for the two separate motions filed by the state government and the Edo State House of Assembly challenging the reinstatement by Justice Omotosho scheduled for September 2024. According to him, the status quo remains that Mr. Mobile Marvelous Godwins is the deputy governor of Edo State, and any correspondence carried out by any other person, including Mr. Shaibu, constitutes impersonation, and anyone dealing with him does so at their own risk. Now, the political drama engulfing Rivers State has taken a very interesting twist as the State High Court has sacked the APC caretaker chairman, Mr. Tony Okocha. Justice Sika Apreko instead nullified the sack of Mr. Emeka Beke as the APC chairman and further reinstated him, and then issued an order restraining Mr. Okocha from parading himself as the APC chairman. A separate press briefing, both men reacted to the development where Mr. Okocha insists he's still in charge of the party. In business, Nigeria's crude oil production has risen to 1.3 million barrels per day in July from 1.27 million barrels per day recorded in June. And that's according to the OPEC's latest monthly oil market report. The 30,000 barrels per day increase in output comes as OPEC cuts 2024 oil demand growth forecast to 2.11 million barrels per day. Nigeria retains its leading position on the chart for Africa's top oil producers within OPEC, followed by Libya and Algeria. However, Nigeria's oil rig count fell to 14 in the month of July from 15 recorded in June. On the international scene, Ukraine's top commander says its forces control 1,000 square kilometers of Russian territory as they push their biggest cross-border incursion into the war. Commander Alexander Sesky says Ukraine continued to conduct an offensive operation in the Kursk region 7 days after it began. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia had brought war to others. Now it was coming back to Russia. However, Russian President Vladimir Putin says the offensive is a major provocation and ordered Russian forces to kick the enemy out of their territory. Let's now talk sports. The governor of Abia State, Alex Otia, has awarded the players and management of Abia Warriors Football Club of Umuahia for reaching the finals of the 2023-2024 President Federation Cup, where they lost to El Kanemi 2-0. The governor announced a cash donation of 30 million naira and a brand new coaster bus for the team.
So you came from the area and you placed second in the FA Cup competition. That's a big feat, that's a huge feat, and I'm happy and I congratulate you. Clearly I can say without any fear of contradiction that the next time around you will carry the FA Cup. Finally, on behalf of the good people of Abia State, the government of Abia State, you will get 30 million naira.
Well, those are the stories we've been tracking for you in the last, 24 hours. It will form part of our conversation for the rest of the day. But hey, let's get to the conversations you've been having online, especially our social media of choice, which is X.